Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am going to do a review now on the latest addition to the collection, and it is Darth Maul by Sideshow Collectibles, the Battle on Naboo version. Drop a like on the video for me, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you follow me on Instagram at DeanKnight333. Enjoy the review, folks. And we'll get straight down to it. The reason I chose this version over the Hot Toys DX Darth Maul is because of this head sculpt and the likeness to Ray Park. I think it is absolutely dead on. There are definitely elements to the Hot Toys version which are far superior to this, but it all came down to the head sculpt for me. There's a particular moment I saw in a review where one of the folks out there compared this to the Hot Toys version, and it was instantly evident that this is the one I needed in my collection. It's such an incredible looking piece. I've always kind of wanted Darth Maul in the collection, and I've actually got Darth Vader coming by Sideshow Collectibles, the Return of the Jedi version, and Kylo Ren by Hot Toys, the Rise of Skywalker version, because I just really like the idea of having those three main dark side characters. I know the Emperor is one of them as well, but I've seen the Emperor figure in person, it's fantastic, but I don't feel the need to have him in the collection. I like the idea of the big three, you know, Vader in the middle, and then Ren and Maul on either side on the shelf. I think that would be perfect. So this was the little screenshot that I took when I was watching one of the reviews on YouTube. I think I've watched every review there is for this Sideshow figure that's ever been made for YouTube, and I think I've watched about half of the reviews that are out there for the DX Darth Maul. So in this particular moment in someone's video, I found this. It's just, you know, it's so obvious, the head sculpt for the Sideshow figure, just the shape of it, the look in the eyes, everything about it really, compared to the Hot Toys one, which doesn't look like Ray Park in this particular moment. I guess it's in a light box and is just looking straight forward, but that does not look anything like Ray Park to me. That looks like maybe in the Phantom Menace, hypothetically, what happened never happened, and then in the next movie Darth Maul was in it again, although Ray Park was unable to do it, and they got another actor to play Darth Maul, and that's what this looks like to me. It looks like someone else playing Darth Maul. So as soon as I saw this moment in the video, I knew that this was the one I needed, and it's a lot cheaper. You can notice as well the kind of black pattern effect on the Hot Toys DX. It's really kind of either raised off the sculpt or something. It's really highlighted, like the outline of everything. You can see it there, and in the movie it really does just look quite crude, like it's painted on. And the screen's gone dark. There we go. I mean, I could just show you the real thing. Jesus, man, that is absolutely insane. Look at it. So here's another picture, still from the movie. You can see the black kind of patterning. It just looks painted on the skin, which is exactly the way the Sideshow one is, and also the thickness of the lines is not perfect on either one. Just go back to that, because the Hot Toys one appears to be way too thick, like especially above the eyes. The patterning's just, it's wrong. And on the Sideshow one, it's a lot thinner, but too thin. So I don't know, I think I'd rather it be thinner rather than really thick and kind of raised off the skin like it appears to be here. But bottom line is, that does not look like Ray Park to me, and I'm sure in many other videos and pictures out there it can look a lot like him with the lighting and the right pose and right angles, but this just looks like him no matter what you do. This is undeniable. And so here's a picture of Ray Park, and let's have a look at the thickness of the lines. Alright, and we come up to the figure. It's actually not too bad. And I'm just looking away from the camera and checking the picture. Yeah, no, that actually looks pretty damn spot on. And it really does look like it's been painted over skin, you know. It doesn't look flat. I don't know if it's the texture of the sculpt or the the technique they've used for painting them, but it just looks really real. And checking that picture again, and this is the Hot Toys figure. Now I don't know if this is blogger pictures here or where this particular picture of the Hot Toys figure came from, but you can see above the eye there's a whole section missing, like the kind of blocky bit. See how it starts from the eye, goes up that little thin bit, little turn, and then a big thick bit. That thick bit, it's just not there, and that whole line is way off. So I don't know if they adjusted that for the actual release. I could just check now, and I probably will do, but yeah, just seems to be way more accurate on the Sideshow version. I was really keen on trying to get my hands on a Hot Toys DX Darth Maul today on eBay in the UK. It was a bidding situation. It was very good price for a brand new Darth Maul. Like, I couldn't believe the price, but obviously it was a bidding thing, so I knew that was going to go up, but it didn't go up that much. The price it went for in the end was very reasonable still for what it was. So I tried to get it. Unfortunately didn't win that bidding war, but our plan was to maybe take some parts from the DX Hot Toys and maybe build an ultimate Maul. But it's not really necessary because I had already ordered a separate kind of hooded cloak, cape, whatever you call it, from the Phantom Menace, from a previous Sideshow Darth Maul 1/6 scale figure, or maybe one that came after this. I know that the head sculpt didn't look anywhere near as good as this one, but it did come with the hooded cloak. So I managed to find one of those on its own on eBay. That is on its way, so I will bring you another video letting you see how that looks. But I really needed that option, you know. I wanted to be able to display him with the hood up, looking super badass with this head sculpt. Do not get me wrong though, folks, I am not taking anything away from the Hot Toys DX figure because I'm sure it's fantastic in person. But I'm just giving you my reasons why I chose this version, seeing as there is a Hot Toys alternative out there and it's way more popular, it seems. I'm giving you the reasons why I made the decision that I did. And it really all came down to the likeness on the head sculpt. And the lightsaber effect as well. I prefer the more vibrant red. Not bothered about light up effects. Just want the saber to look decent when it's on display. Alright, now I've tried to position the lights to get the lightsaber effects to kind of glow. Not looking too bad. But it made me think of something. There's a video I did 8 years ago, and those lightsabers, that's not a special effect that's added afterwards. Those are actually looking like that when I took the picture. Definitely check out this video. I was recreating the big fight between Luke and Vader using the Sideshow Vader and the Hot Toys Bespin Luke. But definitely check that video out if you haven't seen it. I think, well, the chap's name who made those lightsabers, I'm not sure if he's doing it anymore, but they were incredible, and they actually got really, really hot after just a matter of seconds. And if you tried touching the actual lightsaber blade, you would burn your fingers. It was really surreal because it was 1/6 scale reality when it came to lightsabers. It was amazing. Check out that video, folks. Nice glow of them. They're looking decent, but you really have to get a lot of light on them. He comes with one of the usual Sideshow black bases. There's really not much to it. It says Star Wars underneath, but nothing on top. It's a nice kind of matte finish, so it won't scratch too badly. And usually I'd be pretty damn underwhelmed by this base, but seeing as Vader is coming with the exact same kind of base, and I have a spare one of these that I can use for Kylo Ren when he gets here, they will all have the exact same hexagonal base that will connect to each other. Put Vader in the middle and have them all, all the bases linked up. I think that will look nice and uniformed. So as underwhelming as the base may be, it's fine. And I understand that sometimes a base that's too busy can look a bit gimmicky, a bit kind of tacky. So if that's the thinking behind it, then fair enough. But it is always nice to have a cool kind of diorama base. But like I say, for what I have planned, it works. Honestly guys, I just wanted to say I've spent about half an hour sitting here in between filming the review because I wanted to shout this guy out, the one who made this video. I typed in Sideshow 16 Darth Maul and skipped through every video I could find, and then I thought, well, maybe it was actually a DX Darth Maul video I was watching, so I went and checked any one of those I could find that was this kind of ratio. It looks like it's one of those videos that's like 4:3 or whatever you call it. I couldn't find the dude. I bloody gutted because I wanted to give him a shout out because it was really this video that leaned me towards the Sideshow figure and saved me some money. But if you're watching this, fat chance I know, but if you are watching or someone knows whose video this is, make them known in the comments because it was a great help. Now his joints ain't the best. He can hold a pose, but you can feel when you're moving him that, you know, you can imagine how much stronger and tougher the Hot Toys body must feel. I've got plenty of experience with Hot Toys figures, especially with the DX series that they make. The bodies are usually really good. But a little bit of a loose joint situation aside, kind of in the midsection really, but nothing really giving me any grief. He was second hand on eBay. Maybe the chap who owned him had him since he was released. I think it was 2016. I might be thinking of one of the other figures I got coming. I've been watching so many videos on Kylo Ren and Darth Vader and Darth Maul over the past 2 days. It gets a bit confusing, but yeah, for a second-hand figure, and especially knowing what I've experienced with the Sideshow bodies in the past, he's not too bad as far as joints go. But I'm sure that the Hot Toys version is far superior as far as that goes. The articulation is really good in this piece. I got no complaints. You got wires and the kind of tassels there on his outfit. They can all be positioned to look like he's really in motion. And even though the joints don't feel as stiff as you would want them to, he can do everything I need him to do, and he holds every pose I've put him in so far. And looks absolutely awesome doing it. I did use a heat gun from a distance to heat up the hands before I put the saber in the hands because they were quite stiff and I didn't want to risk scratching the paint on the lightsaber hilt. But this is a nice pose and would certainly look awesome up on the shelf like this. Changed up the pose, and one of the hands here, he is moving towards us with his lightsaber in his right hand, and the left hand is about to move you or something to the left or the right. Something's about to get dashed out of the way. He has a target in his sights, doesn't have time for you, so right, I got him on the rotating base, and yeah, he's a bit dusty in places at the back. I've noticed I need to give him a bit of a clean. He was second hand and probably in someone's collection since he was released a good few years ago, so I'll give him a little spruce up. But just wanted to show him turning. I'll get you a nice close-up on the head sculpt turning as well so we can see it from all the angles. But again, not the stiffest joints in the world, but I haven't had any trouble getting him into any pose that I want to do, and he holds it really well. There is a seam around the top of the head there that you can see. I knew that going in, but I'm going to be seeing it on display from these kind of angles, and it looks fine there. It's got the little earring as well. Haven't tried lowering the belt yet. I'll give that a go in a moment. But the tailoring's really nice. I love the proportions. Very pleased with them overall. But I'll give you my final thoughts and a score out of 10. I'll do a few height comparisons first. Right, this is about as close as I can get without things going out of focus. So, I just noticed a little... not sure what that was on... kind of above his temple on his left hand side there. If it was a paint scratch or something, or... not sure, but you can see some seams here and there, you know? There's no doubt about that, but once you get to this kind of angle, the view you're going to be seeing it from all the time. I just love it. The way they've sculpted the shape of the head is pretty much perfect from what I can tell. Love the way they've done the horns. Love the actual paint effect of the black and the red. Looks very real. The eyes are amazing, and that's really key for this particular character. One thing that always kind of sticks in my memory from the first time I saw Darth Maul in The Phantom Menace, I was in my very early, well, maybe very late teens, very early 20s, maybe like 18, 19 years old. And I remember when Liam Neeson's, is it Qui-Gon? When he has to stop, when the kind of laser kind of gate or barricade kind of comes between him and Maul, and Liam Neeson kind of kneels down and takes a moment to kind of, I don't know, gather himself or just calm himself before the imminent battle again. But the way Darth Maul just paced backwards and forwards staring at him with this face here reminded me of a tiger. And I know the colouring isn't exactly right for a tiger, but that's what he's always reminded me of ever since I saw that scene for the first time, was a tiger who just fierce, you know, fierce, determined and deadly. And unfortunately not so deadly, because they chopped him in half, which I really wasn't happy about. I thought, why would you create such a badass character and then cut him in half? You know, you got a whole trilogy of prequels coming up, but they brought him back in other animated shows and stuff, but they brought him back in some other stuff like Solo, which I didn't see all the way through because I just kind of lost interest in Solo. But yeah, The Phantom Menace, Darth Maul was my favourite thing about it. And this is a simple pose as well, very much like the last one where he was just pushing someone or something to the side. But this just has such an FU kind of quality to it. Didn't want to swear, so I'll just say FU, you know what I mean? But just get out of the friggin' way. You're not worth my time. That is what I'm feeling here. Just the look in his face, the look in the eyes, the scowl, the serious mouth, the shape of the head. Now, just for a little height comparison, won't go too far into this, but a very popular figure that quite a few Star Wars fans who collect Hot Toys and Sideshow seem to have is the latest Mandalorian figure. So there he is, that's the chrome version next to Darth Maul. They're both just standing level. Just gives you an idea. Here he is standing next to the Hot Toys Classic Suit Spider-Man 1/6 scale figure. About the same height. Spidey's a little bit bigger, just a little bit. And here is Darth Maul next to the Caustic Plastic John Wayne figure. Both 1/6 scale, but John Wayne is a big figure, so definitely bigger than Maul here. I was able to get him to kind of cross his legs. That's pretty cool. Good articulation there. I mean, good articulation everywhere. I was even able to wiggle down that kind of middle belt sash, whatever you want to call it. I was able to wiggle that down a little bit. Probably could get it lower. But just for the purposes of getting this review done, I'm going to leave it be for now. But yeah, articulation's good. More craziness going on here. He's still cross-legged on the table, on the desk here, but I've just raised up that hand as close as I could get it to the head. I think it's pretty much a double bend elbow. Couldn't quite get it where I wanted it, but damn near enough. Really good articulation. I haven't really been able to not do anything I've been thinking of in my head. It's all been possible so far. Really nice work on the boots. Nice sculpt on those. I like the tone as well, they're not just jet black. And also the sculpt on the hands and the gauntlet part there as well. Well, I guess it's meant to be all one glove, but there's a separation there obviously for changing over the hands. Maybe they could have done the Darth Vader thing that Hot Toys do, where it's all kind of just one long sculpted hand with the glove section kind of extending up the arm. But that does become a bit of a pain in the bum when it comes to articulation. And it's always nice with the Sideshow figures how they have each wrist peg is individual to the hands. They all have their own wrist peg, so it just makes changing over the hands a lot less stressful. I remember with my Rogue One Vader, I always had to use up pliers to get the wrist peg out, and it just put me off posing him, because that was probably one of the final factors in getting rid of him. I know he's meant to be one of the very best Vaders. I had him, did love him, but I've decided to go for the Sideshow Return of the Jedi instead. He's coming from Italy, leaving Italy on Monday, coming through FedEx, so shouldn't be too long before the review for the Sideshow Darth Vader from Return of the Jedi is here. And also on Monday, I'm expecting the Kylo Ren from Rise of Skywalker by Hot Toys. So there will be a review on those two coming up real soon. Alright guys, on to my final thoughts. I'll give you a score out of 10. I'm thinking like an 8.5 out of 10. You know, would have got a 9 if maybe it had the cloak and hood included with this version, or a second head sculpt. There are other little things that he was using in the Phantom Menace, little tracking devices and such, but it really came down to the likeness for me. I needed the figure to absolutely undoubtedly look like Ray Park, and this figure does. This is the best 1/6 scale official company Darth Maul head sculpt that I've seen. I know the Hot Toys one is superior in every way except the likeness, I would say. And I know there's probably folks out there getting pissed off thinking, well, you don't have the figure. I've got it in a certain pose, at a certain angle with the eyes turned to the side. It looks absolutely like him. That could very well be the case, and I do not mean to ruffle any feathers. But I sure as hell did a lot of research before I decided to choose this version. But, you know, the body, not as good quality as Hot Toys. The outfit, probably not as good quality as Hot Toys, but looks fantastic on this piece regardless. But really, it's all down to that sculpt. This is Ray Parker's Darth Maul in 1/6 scale. It's absolutely phenomenal. Honestly, in person, it's crazy. The way the light catches the eyes, the shape of the head, the paint, everything about it. Absolutely love that. So I give him like an 8 or an 8.5. If you haven't got a Darth Maul figure yet and you only want one, that's up to you. I'm just telling you that this head sculpt is incredible. Everything else is just fine. You know, I love the lightsaber effect. I've taken it away for the final pose, just because when he goes on the shelf, it might take up a bit too much space, having the blades exposed. We'll see. But yeah, I'll give him an 8.5 out of 10. Very happy that I chose this version. I think it looks incredible, and I recommend it. If you can maybe get it brand new, second hand, you run the risk of getting a quite loose figure, so just bear that in mind. But he's been able to do all the poses I need him to do. He stands on his own quite well too. Haven't had any trouble, but it's certainly not as tough feeling as a Hot Toys body, or certainly a DX Hot Toys body, because they're usually pretty damn high quality. But I really like it, and I'm very happy with the choice. Let me know what you think in the comments. Should be interesting. Don't forget to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Instagram at DKnight333. I'll see you soon, folks. Take it easy. Bye bye.